Oh hey, didn't see you there. I'm bored! Since finishing my second year of high school, I've been given nothing but free time, but I have nothing to do. Usually I'd go watch a show or something, but there's nothing to watch. My days have been spent endlessly scrolling through catalog after catalog, searching for something to watch, but all I'm given is content improved by executives and people in suits. If only there was something that I could watch that was made with passion by artists. What does it mean to be indie? Well, to be indie is to be independent, free from the clutches of big companies. This comes in many forms. There's indie games, but those give you the illusion of choice. With indie games, you're either playing something that's inspired by Earthbound or a metaphor for depression. Or both. There's indie movies, but nobody cares about indie movies. Unless it's made by a Markiplier, then people care. There's indie music. I don't have a joke for indie music. I'm sorry. Last but not least, there's the topic of today's video. Indie shows. Now, if we want to see the best of the best, we need to go to the source. A company that funds independent creators. Glitch. Glitch Productions is an Australian studio based in blah 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 blah. I know what you really are, Glitch. You're SMG4! SMG4 was a channel focused on making Mario SFMs. Now Luke and Kevin will tell you that they made Glitch as a way to make animations that they're proud of. Yeah, right. If you ask me, Glitch was their backup plan in case they got taken out back by Nintendo like SML did. Glitch's first show, Meta Runner, was released in 2020, but the main character, Tari, was introduced 2 years earlier on SMG4. Mario wants to beat SMG4 and Super Smash each other in the S Brothers, so he gets Tari to train him. Tari's characterized as the shy but nice person, kind of like Fluttershy, but minus the love for animals. Don't ask why I've seen My Little Pony. Is any of that really necessary to understand Meta Runner? No. Look, man, I just want an excuse to talk about SMG4. In the world of Meta Runner, gaming isn't just a hobby, it's a way of life. The world revolves around esports, so much so, some people get robot arms just to get better on Mario 64 speedrunning. We're introduced to Tari. Like Harry from Spider-Man 3, Tari has amnesia. Her only memory is of a strange doctor in a lab. Tari goes into a Task Corp store to get away from people ogling at her arm. She plays Ultra Jump Mania for a little bit and discovers she's really good, even though she's never played it before. It's later revealed that she has the ability to go into the Avatar state and warp into the video game. She meets Theo, the main character of the game, and hangs out with him for a while. Meanwhile, Lux, the CEO of Task Corp, is fascinated by Tari's ability. He pulls her and Theo out of the game, but they're saved by Lamar. Lamar is part of a group against Task Corp named MD5, consisting of Masa and Sophia. Now it's up to these ragtag team of rebels to take down Task Corp. Well, at least for the first 2 seasons. The third season is completely different, but we'll talk about that later. I don't really like the animation in the show. The first season is excusable, it's Glitch's first show, it's going to look rough around the edges. But the second season, it's not that the animation looks full of quality, it's that the art style looks boring. This is definitely a preference thing, but the way everyone looks, it's like they're all Fortnite skins. The characters in the show are also really boring. You think since they gave Tari her own show, they would give her more of a character, but nope. She's practically the same person she was in SMG4, and that doesn't change throughout the entire series. Lamar likes anime Japan. That's it. Sophia's the comedic relief, except she's not comedic. Masa sounds like Batman.
Strange is launching missile strikes on Arkham City from Wonder Tower.
If you don't want to talk, that's fine. We'll just take our winnings and be on our way.
He's the angsty leader of MD5. He's dead serious all the time and doesn't take anything from anyone. He's definitely the most interesting in the group. I mean, it's not really saying a lot, but oh well. Lux is your standard evil businessman CEO. Nothing you haven't seen a million times. Belle's initially a secondary antagonist, but over time, through investigating Lucinia's death, she comes closer to MD5, eventually becoming an ally. I guess I should talk about Lucinia. Lucinia was a part of the secret operation named Project Blue, led by Dr. Sheridan. And then she blew up. Lux tried to cover it up, but Belle finds out the truth. So at the end of Season 2, MD5 is basically won. Task Corp has been exposed and Lux will now go to jail, but not before making a big revelation. Lucinia is alive. Her body survived the explosion, but she hasn't woken up since. And that Master shoots in the head. Season 3. Oh boy, Season 3. 2 things are revealed. First thing is that Dr. Sheridan implanted a chip in Masa's arm so he could take control and shoot Lux. Second thing is that when Lucinia blew up, parts of her mind was preserved by Dr. Sheridan and put into a vessel. Guess who that was? That's right, Tari was Lucinia's clone the entire time. Dr. Sheridan's a terrible villain. Lux was cold, calculated, very reserved, so of course Sheridan had to be insane, wacky, and extra. It's clear that they wanted a mad scientist kind of energy, but they clearly went overboard. It really feels like some dude's impression of Heath Ledger's Joker. As for the Tari stuff, oh man. I think the twist could have worked if it had enough build-up, but what did we get? Tari gets a couple of visions, and that's about it. It's honestly quite fascinating. Tari is just not at all curious about her past. She just accepts her role as a rebel real quick. I'm going to talk about Season 3, but first let me talk about Tari's ability. Now warping into video games might have been cool in I don't know, the 2000s. But nowadays, we already have stuff like the Oculus Quest and virtual reality headsets. And keep in mind, this show takes place in the future. Yeah, warping into video games isn't as groundbreaking as Lux and Sheridan make it seem. It's not even just our world, Netrunner itself undermines game warping. Whenever Atari warps into a game, the rest of MD5 will scan their faces onto their avatar and it's basically like they're there. Or other people's movements aren't nearly stiff enough to convey the fact that Atari is the only one actually in the world. The most egregious example is in Season 2, Episode 5. Atari warps to a dating sim to try and contact Lamar. You get this cool visual of an outside perspective of Atari being in the game, and then, Glitch wipes their ass with it not 2 minutes later. Alright, so why am I bringing this up? 2 reasons. 1, I love bitching. 2, even though the warping ability is incredibly flawed, I like how it lets the show experiment with new styles. It helps the scenery not feel too boring. Alright, so what games do we get with Season 3? Pirates. Alright. Season 3 is just a slog to get through. I mean, I already thought the other seasons were boring, but this one, damn. Whatever. The series ends with Lucinia revived and Tari in a simulation. I'm giving this a 4.5 out of 10 and calling it a day. The next show I'm going to talk about is another glitch show, but this one is one of their most popular. A show beloved by millions. It even managed to get on a streaming service. That's right. Talk about murder drones. So in the year 3000, humans live on this planet, but an extinction level event wipes out the biological life on the planet, leaving only the robots. The robots live their own lives, but the humans send their robots to kill the other robots because
that works.
The first episode consists of our main character, Uzi, building a railgun and befriending a murder drone. She kills another murder drone, but not really, and then the episode ends. The rest of the show is about, we'll talk about that later. Look guys, I have a secret to share with you. I did not care for murder drones. Uzi is just an angsty teen searching for revenge, and is just the awkward boy the audience is supposed to find cute. Jay likes to kill people, that's it. And, my god, the dialogue.
Doors so we don't have to, do that scary sounding emotionally repressed stuff you just said?
I'm not mad at you, by the way, just generally hormonal.
I'd join you if the sun didn't kill me. Hope you're having important character growth or something, though.
That's not funny.
They can't find a tone to save their life. Death is either taken incredibly seriously or used as a gag. And as I've already said, this show isn't funny. Each episode is insufferable, and I can't even finish the series. I've never even seen the ending. I got to the part where we see N and Jay in the house party, and I turned it off because I realized I had no idea what the hell was happening. At first viewing, I thought it was my fault. I do zone out a lot, but after reading the comments, I realized I wasn't the only one. Nobody knew what the hell was happening. You need to be paying the utmost attention, with multiple viewings of the same episode being necessary just to understand it. Or you could watch the 30-minute video of a guy explaining the series. This is what annoys me. What's the point of making a story if you're just gonna have it be so convoluted that someone else has to tell it for you?
You just don't get it, do you? Good art challenges its viewers. Just because you weren't smart enough to understand the series doesn't make it bad. It's called subtlety, Wasteful, something you wouldn't understand.
I love Deltarune. That is my answer to that statement. The show's a 4, but I'm giving it a 3 out of pure spite. Whew, man, after that I really need a palate cleanser. Ideally something with good writing and clever jokes. Oh god. Hazbin Hotel. The Black Death. Both are pretty terrible, but only one of them is an indie show, so that's what I have to talk about. Heaven sends angels to hell to kill demons in an attempt to curb hell's population. As a result, Charlie Morningstar starts a hotel alongside her girlfriend, Vaggie, to offer repentance. Their first customer... It's a hotel, not really a customer, so... attendee, I guess? Their first attendee is Angel Dust, who is a male porn star. The pilot mainly focuses on Charlie trying to market the hotel to the masses. Charlie's fine, Vaggie is fine, Angel Dust is, you guessed it, shit. All he is in the pilot is just the comedic relief, which is awful because he's not funny. All of his jokes are about sex, and my god, does it really get annoying. But I gotta say, his voice is so familiar. I swear I've heard it before. Oh well, I'm sure I'll come back to it eventually. I like Alistair's characterization. The way he talks, the little voice clips, really sells the fact that he was a radio host in the 1920s. Alright, let's talk about Vivzy Pop's writing. You know how I said Angel Dust was annoying because all of his jokes were about sex? Well yeah, that's not limited to just him. That kind of humor is imbued in the show's DNA. The writing's horrible. Or, as Vivzy Pop would write it, this fucking show's writing sucks a bag of dicks. It's the worst fucking piece of dog shit I've ever seen in my goddamn life. The pilot's getting a 5 out of 10, but only because I like Alistair. But we're not done yet, because we still have to talk about the show. I'll be brief since it's not technically indie. It's not good, 4 out of 10. Oh, now I remember what Angel's voice reminds me of. Clay from Catching Up. Catching Up is about two social outcasts trying to fit into the world around them. Clay's pessimistic and introverted, while Rob is optimistic and extroverted. Clay's an outcast because he's too awkward, and Rob's an outcast because he's too naive. It's a simple dynamic, but I think it works for this kind of show. What I love about Catching Up is that it's not like other shows where it's a big action adventure with an overarching story and character arcs. This is just a cartoon, and hey man, I like cartoons. I don't really know what else to say. I mean, Scott the Wasp plays a character. That's cool. 8 out of 10. Who's ready for a lightning round? The shows I'm about to talk about only have a pilot, so this is gonna be quick. Alright, ready? Let's go. Gameverse. Ken and Kabuto are our main characters. Their job is to prevent heroes from beating the main villain, because if they do, the hero's world ends. It's a fun concept that has never really been done before. I like the characters, it has good animation, and out of all the glitch shows so far, this one has actually made me laugh. Oh, and I also like the name. Gameverse, Game Over, very funny. 7.5 out of 10. Homestuck, written by, I've never read Homestuck, but if this applies anything to go by, I never will. Even though I'm 90% sure Busy Pop had no hand in the writing, her comedic stench is written all over the show. The characters in this pilot swear like they have a quota to fill. It's just unbearable. Oh yeah, none of that is to mention the fact that I have no idea what's going on. The plot is inconceivable, and by the looks of the comments, not even the people who read the comic know what's going on. And in case anyone says anything, no, the fact that Toby Fox's voice is the main character does not score any points with me. 4 out of 10. Planetonica is about Butterfly and Freestyle going on space adventures, but you wouldn't know that by watching the pilot because all they do is play basketball and some other stuff. Things just kind of happen and it makes it kind of hard to follow the episode. It's clear that they're going for that early 2000s Cartoon Network aesthetic, and in that case I think they succeed. It's rough around the edges, but still a solid pilot. 7 out of 10. Wastelandia is a slice of life cartoon starring 3 protagonists, Zoe, Moth, and Alice. The pilot has them complaining about their day. It's clear that this is the show's way of introducing us to these characters. Some of the dialogue in the show irks me. They talk about Reddit, Twitter, they use the word cringe. It's not a deal breaker, but stuff like this is just the easiest way to date your show. Either way, I still think it's a fine enough pilot. 7 out of 10. Ramshackles is about the misadventures of Vinny, Skip, and Stone. Skip is the nice one, Vinny is the confident one, and Stone is the angsty one. The pilot has them take care of a baby and enter them in a pageant for $10. I thought the twist of the baby being a biblically accurate angel was pretty funny. Good animation, good characters, definitely my favorite out of the bunch. 8 out of 10. Well, that's the end of the lightning round. Man, now that that's over, I don't really know what to talk about now. Okay, fine, I'm gonna talk about the Amazing Digital Circus. The Amazing Digital Circus! I can talk about Skibidi Toilet instead if you want. It's an indie project made by Gooseworks and funded by Glitch. Now it's in a Walmart. Funnily enough, right next to Skibidi Toilet. A woman gets trapped in a bizarre circus-themed virtual world with 5 other people and forced to play games under the direction of a wacky AI. Thanks, Netflix. The show is very character-focused, with each episode mainly focusing on one person. Unlike the other Glitch shows, it doesn't have action sequences or anything flashy. Oftentimes, the meat of an episode will be 2 characters having a conversation. Well then, let's talk about this colorful cast of characters. First, we have Pomni. Pomni's honestly kind of a blank slate of a character. She doesn't really have any defining characteristics besides, I don't know, being nervous, I guess. She's only really as interesting as the people around her. Ragatha. Okay guys, full transparency, I do not remember her at all, and I didn't put anything down on my notes, so how about we say she was a good character and call it a day. Gangle's whatever. She masked her emotions in the most literal way possible. Her entire arc is basically learning to be true with her emotions and also gain some self-confidence. I think she needed way more screen time because as it is, she doesn't really make any lasting impressions. For Zubo, I'm kind of mixed. On one hand, I find them annoying. They refuse to do Kane's adventures, they swear all the time, they feel angsty. But on the other hand, it makes perfect sense why they act this way. Since their entire body is entirely customizable, they feel intense body dysmorphia. It explains why they resent Kane, refuse to do his adventures, and be moody. What really bothers me is that they don't show Zubo actually work on their issues. Episode 3, they're telling Kane how they're not comfortable with their body, and then boop, episode 7, they're just cured. So yeah, although I think Zubo is written well enough, they're still not a character I'm all too fond of. Then there's Kinger, the best character. If not the best, and definitely the most interesting. He worked for the company that made the circus and Kane. He was the first to be in the circus. He had a wife who would later abstract all of this while also having split personalities. Kane is definitely a close second for best. What can I say, I'm a sucker for Alex Roken. Now Digital Circus might be what he's most known for, but since I'm a little adult and gremlin, I know him for doing experimenting fan dubs. I bring this up only because I find it funny how he does the same voice for both characters.
You parasites! Birds! Oh, stop! Help me!
And then there's Jax. Ugh. So his whole shtick is that after his 2 friends abstracted, he disconnected himself from reality. He acts completely apathetic, treating him and those around him as nothing but cartoon characters. The likable jerk trope is a risky one because it either works or it doesn't. And for Jax, it doesn't. So one of the most important parts of the likable jerk trope are the people around him. There need to be characters who are able to put up with them. For Jax, there is no back and forth. There is no banter. Whoever Jax is mean to is just his victim. This makes him incredibly unlikable. He's no longer the lovable asshole. He's just an asshole. But okay, what if we're not supposed to like Jax? Then why don't any of the other characters hate him? Sure, Gingle's afraid of him and Zubul dislikes him, but no one outright hates him, even when it's completely deserving. Example, in episode 7, they are helping a man named Abel, and what they believe is their only shot at leaving the circus. They made it to Kane's room. The button to eject them out of the circus is right there. They'll all soon be free, and Jack hits the button to keep everyone there. Zubul rightfully gets pissed at Jax in the next episode. Jax says how it doesn't matter since it wasn't real, and then the rest of the cast just agrees. What? Okay, now don't get me wrong, the rest of the cast should come to this conclusion eventually, but not immediately. They have every reason to be pissed, but none of them are. Hell, none of them even ask why you press the button. This goes for every other cruel act Jack commits. The cast just brush it off and move on. And another thing, if you're not supposed to like Jack, then why is he given so much screen time? 1/3 of the show is dedicated to him, but he never changes. Sure, we see him having panic attacks and almost abstracting, but that's it. Watch a clip of him in episode 1, then in episode 7, and all you'll notice is an increase in the animation budget. You'd think with the time that they gave Jax, they'd give a reason to why he acts the way he does, but they don't. Well, they do, but not a good one. Sure, 2 of his friends abstracted, but having loved ones around you abstracting is nothing new to the show. How is it that they gave Jax the same amount of spotlight as Pomni and they still couldn't give him a good character arc or backstory? And, I get it, I really do. It takes time to develop characters, but when I'm at the second to last episode and you still haven't given me a reason to like a character, I begin to wonder what's the point. Now, I haven't seen the last act yet, but judging by the posters, I'm guessing we'll see more of Jax's backstory.
I don't give a sh**.
The fact of the matter is that there's nothing the last act can really do that will retroactively make Jax a good character. Jax's backstory could be a Shakespearean masterpiece, while all it would do is make me wish Gooseworks told me it earlier. So again, I ask, what's the point? I could forgive all of that, all of it, if he just wasn't such a bore. When I see Jax, I'm not shaking my fists in rage while screaming at the heavens. All I'm doing is checking the timestamp to see when the episode ends. That's the worst of it. He's just boring. That was very negative. Allow me to list some positives about the show. Episode 2 is my favorite episode. I really enjoyed Pomni and Gummy Goo's dynamic, and I was very disappointed when I learned he wouldn't be a mainstay. Episode 8 is a close second, though. King and Kane take center stage in this episode, and as I've already said, those are my favorite characters. Although it's kind of disappointing that they never really interact with each other. Okay, positive. The animation, it starts out a little rough, but gradually gets better, and, I know I said the last act was pointless, but I am excited to see when it comes out.
No thanks, I'm trying to quit.
The show would get an 8.5, but because of a certain someone, I'm giving it a 7.5. Hey, by the way, if you made it this far, you should really consider subscribing. Oh yeah, you should hit that subscribe button. Ooh, look at that number, that's real low. And especially that ratio, even lower. I think, I don't know, this was pre-recorded, and I didn't see the numbers beforehand, so I don't know, maybe they're high. I don't know. Did I like all these shows? No. But I can appreciate everything that these shows bring. Yes, even you, Murder Jones. I can tell each and every one of these shows I mentioned had some sort of love poured into them, and hey, a passion project was all I ever wanted from the beginning. Did that conclusion feel short? I don't know, it kind of felt short. I'm sorry, I don't really know how else to end this. I've been wasteful, and I wasted your time.